Welcome back, everyone, to Light All Fiends podcast. This is episode 74.
74.
Biggest gamer.
And
today we're going to be talking about absolute resonance.
What do you say?
Absolute filler.
There you go, bro. There you go. It really was. It was so bad. No, it wasn't so bad. That's not fair. It was like...
Let's just say, we talked about this a little bit, Adwar and I. We said we liked the story's going.
Yep.
But bro, what he was like talking about in these chapters, could have cut half of it. We've been chilling.
We read 90 chapters. I think he could have done it in 40.
Yeah.
Because realistically, like, what we got was, like, to sum it up into the biggest key points, they finished the last place they were at the cave. They powered up from the cave. He went to the
cave? Oh, yeah, the world,
the world space or whatever. He powered up with the worldly source or whatever.
World energy.
Yeah, the world energy that like kings used, or how did you go to the kings, whatever. They powered up there. They go to the Dragon's Fangs lineage. Then they go from there to the Dragon Guardians, and then they do like that big battle between them, and then they go after that.
Lilo cultivates, and then they go to a hunting ground.
No, before that, they did the thing that shouldn't have been a big point, but it was like 15 chapters, was the purifying for the meteors.
Oh, yeah.
That was 15 chapters. It could have been 3.
Yeah.
Max. That's pushing it. It could have been 2, honestly. And then the hunting grounds. Bro, that, beyond the timescape, that wouldn't have been 20 chapters. That would not have been 20 chapters, bro.
No.
And we got 90 chapters of that. And if he literally just cut it in half, and I think the author does too much of like trying to hype, and it creates like the opposite effect.
Yeah, he does do that.
Like, how many times you gotta say, Jian Qingye is beautiful, swan, like, radiant, like, untouchable, blah, 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 right? And then Li Luo was, like, handsome and, like, otherworldly and untouchable. And, oh, my God, he's a greater heavenly resonance fighting a duke. Let's say it for the 8th time today. I hate it, bro. I hate it. It's just, like, you can't keep repeating things over and over. I start skimming.
Yeah, because it's, like, I can sum it up in, like, literally 5 minutes of what happened.
Right? That's what I was thinking about. I was like, yo, this is actually like, it was just not, it's just not, what is it, the One Piece, what everybody says about One Piece? The spacing, is that what they say, right?
Oh, the pacing.
The pacing, that's the word I was looking for. The pacing in this novel is trash.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't, like, from where we started to where we ended, he went up, like, 2 cultivation realms, because we ended when he was in, like, the 9 Pearl stage.
Yeah.
But, like, realistically, the very first 2 chapters, he went into the Greater Heavenly Resonance stage. And from then to the 90th chapter, like, he only raised, like, 20,000, I think, like, 30,000 feet in the...
Yeah, because he was at 50, and now he's, like, 84.
Like, 84. And, like, I understand, like, cultivation takes time, but they didn't do anything in between then. Like... It's just not good, man.
Okay, so here's what happened. After they leave the Heavenly Ancient College...
Right before then, let's talk about Jian Qingye. She had a huge power up.
Oh yeah, because she is a duke, and she has 10-pillar bird free.
Which they also said about 87 times.
Yep, they've mentioned that so many times. And so she's walking the path of, becoming a transcendent duke.
Ascension.
Yes,
the path of ascension.
And...
Oh, and just to recap, to become a transcendent duke, you need at least 7 of your 9 berg frees to be perfect 10-pillar berg frees. And basically, I think that means it guarantees you become a king. Yeah. And I think, it also sets you up
for Heavenly Emperor.
For Heavenly Emperor. Like, I think if you don't have... Obviously, you might not need 7 perfect to become a Heavenly Emperor, but, like, if you don't, like, you're gonna need some crazy materials.
Yeah, because, I mean, they call it the Heavenly Throne.
Yeah.
The formant, so I'm assuming it's just, like... It's like a prelude to Heavenly Emperor. Because King is the crown.
Yeah.
So throne would make sense for emperor.
Yeah, I agree.
So Jane King Yang becomes a duke, a 10-pillared duke on her first Duke Bergfried.
Yep.
She leaves with Li Luo. But before she leaves, they're trying to get her into the Academic Federation Alliance, which is where like all the people from the ancient colleges group up. Like that's where like their geniuses go.
What they call it, the Path of Light or the something Knights?
Oh, Scholar? No, not Scholar Knights.
Radiant
Knights? Maybe.
Something like that. They had a cool name for it, for basically dukes that are from the college and they have like light residences.
Yeah, and they're like really talented.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she declined. She went with Li Luo. Li Luo was basically like, well, why don't you just put her on reserve? And they're just like, no one's ever done that. And he was just like, bro, we're too talented for y'all not to even try it. And when the school that Li Luo went in with for the mission, they both teamed up, and they're just like, if we both do it, they'll let us do it.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay, we'll do that. And so Li Luo leaves with Jiang Qingye and Li Hongyu.
Yep.
And he gives her some spiritual liquids, and she raises her residence to lower ninth.
That's a big breakthrough for her.
Yep.
She gets a spiritual avatar.
Oh yeah. And then they go back to the Dragon Fang Mountain, or what's it called?
Yeah, Dragon Fang, like mountain.
Yeah. The three of them meet Li Jingzi.
Fucking big body.
Yeah.
He went crazy.
He went
He was
nuts.
the main character, bro.
That was the most exciting part for him
100%.
all the chapters.
Yeah.
But they go meet him. Li Luo shows off. Jin King is like, "This is my fiance," and they're like, "Stop playing with us." It's like, I'm dead ass, bro. Y'all didn't believe me.
I've been telling you.
Yeah. But yeah, so they were just like, "Damn, like you just like your dad."
Yeah.
Brought in the genius of their era, and Li Jingzi makes them all soup. He lets Li Hongyu into the Dragon Fang guards. And he tells them to go over there. That's where he can get the foundational treasures.
In the, what do they call it? The World's River End.
Yep.
And it's basically a noble's battlefield.
World's End River.
World's End River. It's basically the noble's battlefield where like...
It's got a mini nobles battlefield.
Yeah, where like their dimension meets the other dimension.
Yep. And they just gotta fend off others from crossing.
Yeah. So then we go over there, but on the way there...
Wait.
What happened?
He upgraded his Waterlight resonance before that happened.
Oh, he did.
So he used the Divine Serum to upgrade it to his Waterlight to lower grade 9, Wood Earth upper grade 8th.
It hit lower grade 9th?
Yeah.
Yeah, his Waterlight, the main one, the first one. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So now he's truly like on par with some geniuses now.
Yeah,
really.
He's got a 9th, a lower 8th, and an upper 7th.
No, lower 9th, upper 8th.
Upper 8th.
And then upper 7th.
Upper 7th, yeah.
So he's getting up there. And then this is when they leave, or a little bit after. So this part didn't feel like filler because it felt like they were kind of going quick.
This part was good until like right after this next part.
Yeah. So what happened after is on their way over, Qin Leon, the woman that hates Lilu's parents.
Yeah, parents.
She teams up with a couple people from her lineage to try to capture Lilu and kill the rest. They fail. They get clapped.
They don't get clapped.
Oh, actually no.
Li Luo teams.
Li Luo's teams get clapped. So that's what I meant to say.
And the Ox Bao Bao was there with what's her name?
Li Ruyan.
Li Ruyan.
And we found out Qin Leon was the one that destroyed his Bergfrieds back then.
Yeah, we did.
So I'm like, damn, so you were really in that chase. You weren't sitting back. You were going for the kill back then.
So it was Ox Bao Bao, that lady, Li Ruyan.
Li Ruyan.
And there was a third, but I forget. No, I think it was just them two at that time.
Yeah, because he was 7th grade and she's 4th grade. He was like, they're probably not going to... No one expected them to attack.
Yeah.
But then the Dragon Fang Guardians came by and helped them out.
Yeah. And
they got away.
This is where it started, the filler. Like, those first, 30 chapters, they were really good.
Yeah.
And then, the next, 60 chapters, it could have been 15.
Well, basically, the whole... the Heavenly Dragon Guardians was supposed to be, oh, we're gonna go crazy, and it's been filler so far, which is why it's so annoying. Like, why? Like, basically, they did the whole introduce the MC to everyone, have the face slapping scene where he shows off how strong he is.
Yeah.
And then he cultivates for a little bit, and then he finally goes out. But that whole thing, like what I just described, took a bunch of chapters, like way too many.
I think just like for basically a big reason that took so long was there was a bet where, cause what's her name, Lee Hongyu.
Hongyu had she has an older sister, Lee Hongyu.
Half sister.
Oh yeah, half sister. Yeah, older half sister. And basically, her and her father, like, they looked down on her because like her mom was, you know, commoner.
Basically, she was a concubine.
Yeah.
She was probably not even a concubine.
Yeah.
It was like a random like
fling,
got her pregnant, and like never really like took care of them.
Yeah.
But like they had his name attached to them, so they weren't like bullied by commoners, but they were bullied by him.
Yeah.
And his main wife, because the main wife was like, you really went off of that dirty boy. And so like they were just like severely bullied by them, and then the mom was killed. Lee Hongyu's mom was killed by.
Well, she died. She just died of
like
overexhaustion.
But like there was definitely some like
they probably hurt her a bit.
Yeah.
And that like exacerbated. Like she probably had some injuries that like exacerbated her death.
Yeah. And so she's back to get revenge, and there was like her half sister was like, oh, I need her to get removed from the Dragon Face Guardians. They made a huge bet for some resources, and that took way too long.
Yeah.
And then like the fight was actually cool. Lilo and Jian King fought a first grade Duke and a third grade Duke, and they won. But like all that could have been so much less, bro. That's really where my main gripe with it. That took so long. It took away from so much of like the first 30 chapters. Like I think it took away from the momentum, I guess, of the story, right?
Yeah, because it just felt like nothing was really happening. And it was just like he got there. They let him be one of the commanders because they were just like, you were the Dragon Head leader, and that hasn't been done in a while since your father, so we gave you respect for that. Jane King became an envoy, and that was cool. Like that helped. That was like cool part. Really right away, it was like no bullshit. You know, here you go.
Yeah,
I believe
that was surprising.
You're gonna be strong because you're super talented. So we're just not gonna mess around here. We're gonna give you respect, but you might get hoed by the Dragon Blood guys. They even warned him like y'all will probably get hoed. So if you take this position, get ready because.
Yeah. And I like they did that. And then right after that, filler.
Yeah.
And the worst part is that if you boil down like everything in those 90 chapters, there was a lot of good points. Like there's still a couple other main topics that we have to hit. But like if it was just shortened, it would be like actually amazing. And that's where I think like where we started with like the story moves in a good direction. But like if you're not reading like 90 chapters at one go, you feel like the story doesn't move sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true.
Like we can read 50. Like last time we read, I think we read 60 chapters,
and it didn't feel like anything happened.
Literally, I think we were in the worldly source place cave. We were there the whole 60 chapters we read last time, and it didn't move scenes. And like if we were somehow unlucky, we could have gotten 60 chapters of like this one bet. That was not needing to be 60 chapters. Like, sometimes this guy just drags the plot points.
Yeah, because what happened was, like, because Lilo, like, he was searching through techniques, and I thought it was cool seeing all the cool techniques in their treasury and whatever. And after he got his techniques, he ran to the Dragon Blood Guardians. You know, Jin King slapped the shit out of one of them. They made the bet. And then afterwards, it's just like, okay, you need to get stronger. So we're going to go to the Star something platform.
Star something platform, yeah.
I'm going to call it the Star Grabbing Platform.
Yeah,
because basically, like, stars fall out of the sky. Well, they're really meteors.
Yeah.
And they grab them, they can refine them into pure stars. But essentially, this took
15, 20 chapters. I think 15 chapters.
So they spent 15 chapters grabbing these stars, talking about, oh, we're going to purify it, oh, we've got this amount, and we did it again. And then there's some filler of, oh, we can't let them beat the Dragon Guardian's like, we can't let them beat him and beat us. You gotta go crazier. So then they'll show him doing it again. Because they said this is 7, because it's 7 rounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, they're just gonna. And when I first read it and they grabbed it, I thought it was done. I was like, oh, they're gonna. And when they mentioned there's 6 more rounds, I was like, oh, they're just gonna skip this and stuff. Like, and then they kept talking about. I was.
Guys, the first 4 rounds legitimately was like 10 chapters, and then they skipped in the 5th and 6th round, and then like the 7th round they explained again for another like 5 chapters in total. It was so bad. Like that made me so mad, especially because I saw that like at that point of the story, I only had like 20 chapters left before I caught up, and I was like, we're not wasting this many chapters on this. Like, are you serious? I was so disappointed.
Yeah. So that part definitely sucked. They got like 250 stars, right?
250
like star essence.
That's not exactly what they're called, but like let's call them star essence. That's what they are. I think they got 270,000, something like that. And basically, Jian King and Li Luo together can completely purify them, so they don't have any corruption left, because in this era, there's obviously a ton of corruption. And when they do that, they can get 13,500 star essence per meteor. Theoretically, they can do 3 meteors per round, 3 times 7, 21 meteors times 13,500 is a ridiculous number. It's like over 30,000. And before, they were only getting like 60K.
Yeah.
So them by themselves are like increasing the cultivation resources for their whole Dragon Fang Guardians by like 5 times.
Yeah.
So it's a very like big event. But, like, I still don't think it deserved the chapters that it got.
No.
Because I don't think they're ever going to really do that again. They're just going to talk about it in the background.
They're just going to be like, it's just like, because it's just going to be like, oh, like, we're going to have months go by of seclusions. Like, oh, yeah, we did do this again, whatever. Like, oh, we got the source from this time.
And I think it's good to describe things when you do it the first time. It's important to really understand what happened the first time. But it was way too much. The back and forth between both camps was really not needed. Like, maybe one time.
Yeah.
But not...
The first time.
Yeah. Not the 7 times. You know? But then we had an amazing part.
Yeah. The 2
really big things that happened.
What happened first? The 2v2 or?
Nah, not right here. What happened was
it was Li
Jinzi. But right before that, we find out that Li Luo's dad, when he was the guardian leader for the Dragon Fang Guardians,
yes.
This is a big point. He was actually a 5 Duke. How do you say it?
It was a lower.
He was a middle Duke with 5 Bergfrieds. I don't know.
5th grade Duke.
5th grade Duke. That's what I was trying to say.
A lower 5th grade Duke. Yeah. Higher and lower in each grade.
Yeah, and that was really surprising because I thought he like was at like the first Bergfried. They shattered it or something, and then because they said when he went to the Jia Kingdom, he wasn't a Duke and became a Duke. Well, we found out that was a lie. He was definitely, like, at least still a Duke when he was in the Jia Kingdom, and he was just playing with people there. Like, he was, like, acting like a pig. Yeah, he was hiding his cultivation that whole time. Like, nobody ever had a chance. Like, yeah, he might have been injured, but nobody in the Jia Kingdom was touching him.
Yeah, so that part really confused me. So, because when they showed up, they said they were 5th grade Dukes again in that projection.
Yeah.
So I'm really so like if they hit it in the first place, they obviously hit it here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like my whole theory of them rebuilding their Bergfrieds and becoming like transcendent Dukes is out the window.
Yeah, I have no idea because
now like if they're not 9th grade Dukes and come back, I will be disappointed.
I think it's very clear though that Li Luo's parents never got any 10 pillar Bergfried, or they would have talked about it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think they've mentioned it.
So they haven't mentioned that at all, because they even said that their parents never got a 10 pillar. Like, at least for the first one, when they were comparing to Jian Kenyi. I don't know about the other 4, but I feel like they would have mentioned it if they did. And so I think maybe, like, the only thing I can think of is maybe they dropped to, like, a 2nd grade Duke, so then they can rebuild the other 3 to 10 pillar. And so then technically they can, because you only need 7.
Yeah.
So maybe they went down to 2 and those 3 rebuilt to 10, and then the next 4 are also 10. So they technically can still walk the path of ascension.
You could. I'm feeling less and less like they're not going to be transcendent Dukes. I'm thinking they're just going to be like, they'll have some 10th grades.
Like 5, you think? Or 4?
Like 3 to 5.
3 to 5?
My guess is 5. And the rest are 9.
My guess is 5, so they have more than they don't. But yeah, not enough.
But
they still obviously can become kings.
Because we saw how OP 10 Pillar is.
Yeah.
Jen King is fighting a 3rd grade Duke. Who has what? 8 pillars? Or 8? Yeah, he's like 8. He has 8. 1 8 and 2 7s, I think. And the other guy had 7.
Yeah,
and he said that's like the average for geniuses. And I was like, oh damn. Yeah. For some reason, I had in my head, it's like, yeah, everyone's making 9 or 10.
Me too. Bro.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Thank you for like clarifying that that's not really the case. That like having 9 is like the highest standard. Like it's not normal to have 9.
Yeah, if you have 9, you're like a peak power. Like any of those peak geniuses that like Lee Luo was combating before, like they'll probably when they reach like
they're like 7 or 8s.
I think they'll be like 8 or 9s. Somewhere. Like for example, Li Qingfei, the guy who was fighting, I could see him having. Actually, you're right. I think he'd have like 7.
7 or 8. I think if you didn't at least form like 9 pearls.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think if you're not a 9 pearl, 90k plus for your
greater resonance energy.
Like you're not hitting 9 Duke Bird Freeze. You're probably hitting 7 or 8.
All right, yeah, that's fair. You need at least a 9 pearl, and then that 100k is obviously the max. Lilu's at like 84. Yeah, so we'll see on that. But then after that, we get a super huge event where Li Jingzhe was like, this was super fire.
He was badass. It was the most badass scene so far in the
So he finds out about the assassination attempt on Li Luo, and he's like, oh, they did what?
Yeah, he was like, I told you. Like, he's like, on his way over, he's like, I said you should have left that last generation shit to last generation shit. Y'all didn't want to fucking listen.
Yeah, he's like, as long as he touched my grandson, he said, I don't need evidence.
I'll do what I want.
I'm doing what I want because I think it's you. It could not be you, but you're catching these hands. And literally, he shows up to the
to Abyss City.
To Abyss City, which is
Abyssal City.
Is it
Kin? The Kin lineage.
The Kin lineage. Is that how you say Kin or Quinn?
Kin.
Kin. He goes to the Kin lineage, and she's like, oh, she's an 8th grade Duke, and she's like, oh, what are you doing here? Li Jingzhe, like, you shouldn't be here. Like, are you trying to declare war? And he's like, if that's what I gotta do. If that's what I gotta do, bro. And he basically suppresses them, like, the whole city. Because they can, like, technically, a whole Guardians, like, from each Heavenly Emperor power, they all group up, they can fight a king. That's what they say. They obviously meant a single crown king. Li Jingzhe, as we know, is a dual crown king. So he shows up, he wrecks them. And then he's waiting for the king to show up. And finally, when the king shows up, he's like, oh, good, you're here. Smites, what's her name? King Leon. And basically, how I think of it is that he tore off half her body. And, like, half of it is skeletized and half of it is not. That's what I thought of.
Me too.
And, like, he just literally, like, divine smites her.
Yeah.
In front of, like,
in front of everyone.
In front of everyone, but also...
The King Luigi?
King Luan, I think was his name.
Luan? Okay.
I think it was King Luan, but he is like the lineage chief.
Yeah.
For the dragons is like the dragon blood, right? He's the top lineage chief. He's the mountain ruling chief, is what they call him. King Luan is like the mountain ruling chief for the King clan, and Li Jingzhe waits for him to show up to do that.
He's like, I'm glad you're here. Let's get down to business.
Yeah. And he's like, all right, you proved your point. We can all back up now. He's like, you thought I was finished?
Yeah, I loved it, bro. He said, I was waiting for you. You're the example I needed to make it. I was like, damn, you going up to that leader like that? Yeah. He was like, you're damn right.
He was like, she was revenge. You're the example. Yeah. All right? Bring out the grandpas. Yeah. I'm smiting everybody.
And the King, what'd you say?
King Luan.
King Luan was like, bro, we're both double crown kings and I have home court, you can't do nothing. He was like, who said I was double crowned?
Yeah!
And then a 3rd crown appears, and we're just like, what?
I was going crazy,
I was like, a 3rd crown? How fast this dude cultivating.
Yeah.
He was a single crown 10 years ago.
Yeah. I don't know what happens on these. They did say that he went into seclusion after that all happened. So he must have been cultivating like mad. He's like, well, if this happens again, I'm gonna have the power to do something about it.
So
and he made sure on that.
Yeah. So they call he's a quasi triple crown because like it's illusory, it hasn't solidified yet, but like it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, that's what they kept saying. Like once you can make an illusory third crown, it's just about solidifying it. Cause like until you can actually make that illusory, then you're just like. You have no chance. But once you make illusory, like you will for certain become
a
triple crown king as long as you take your time. And they did say that while he's technically now the strongest lineage chief on the Dragon Guard or the Dragon Guardian, or not the General, the Lead clan.
Yeah,
the Lead clan. But the Mountain Ruling chief is the reason he hasn't made his illusory crown is he's trying to go straight from second to third crown. Is what they said. Yeah. Like he doesn't want to go through that whole illusory BS. Yeah. He wants to straight like. Boom, it's there. So Lee Jinsley currently the strongest, and he starts wrecking the leader of the King Clan.
Yeah, beats him up with his bamboo stick. I just kind of think of an old man just like just putting a child like pop, pop, pop.
Bro, my favorite thing, bro. This is when I was going crazy. Text you when he pulls out his staff, and I forget what the name of the staff is called, but I think it's called like King's. I think it's like the King's.
No,
staff.
it is. Yeah.
And he was like. I think people forgot why it's called the Kingslayer staff, because this thing has killed kings, and I'm about to kill another one.
No, he said, when I became a king, I slayed a king with that right away. And I was like,
yeah. This is the most exciting part of this whole chapter. And then he proceeds to whop King Leon, and that's exactly, or King Luan, that's exactly how I thought of it. He was just like, pop, 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 shut up, pop, pop. Don't talk, don't disrespect the elders.
Yeah, and we found out Lee Jinxie has a golden dragon, a thunder resonance, heavenly thunder, did they say, or something? Yeah. And then a wind resonance.
Oh, and we also find out here, a cool fact, is when you hit the king stage, all your resonances get upgraded per stage. So for example, as soon as you hit the single crown king stage, all your resonances become lower ninth. When you hit dual crown, you hit middle ninth. When you hit triple crown, you become you get higher ninth grade resonances, which is that's pretty cool. So anybody who has like lacking talent, like for example, like that guy who Li Luo met back in the day, and it's a wind guy. I forget his name, and his teacher
Yan something.
Yan something, and his teacher's like a wind duke or whatever, and he's like, I only have a 6th grade duke, but a 6th grade resonance, but I became a duke, and he taught like that guy how to become stronger with his like super resonance, but it's like all your resonance will be ever stuck at 6 if you use this, but it'll make you stronger quicker. Now it's like kind of like a loophole. Like as soon as you hit king, your things get upgraded.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. I'm happy like to hear that because that means all of them are like it kind of evens out. I guess.
Yeah. It's just like the difficulty of becoming a king.
Mm-hmm. And I think also makes it so much crazier if you have any extra resonances.
Yeah, I think that's why they hype up dual resonances a lot.
Yeah.
Because that means like, oh, I get a 3rd resonance, even if it's not 9th grade. Like, that's like an extra talent for me. It's just because you can become, like, people become, like, dukes and kings off one single in, like, lower 9th grade. Yeah. And they keep going. So it's just like, if I have double, I'm going to have triple, and then I'll have quadruple. Actually, when I become king, it'll be quadruple. So it's like it's guaranteed I'll have a lower 9th grade one.
Yeah, you'll have 4 lower 9s.
So Lilo, when he's a king, he'll have 5 resonances.
But right now he has 3, and he's about to get 4 when he becomes a duke. Yeah, 5 for king.
Yeah.
So that'll be insane.
Yeah.
That'll actually be crazy.
So. Yeah. So. That's insane. Then what happened was that. All the kings started coming out. The kin lineage kings pulled up. The Lee kings pulled up.
I love when the king lineage showed up. And they were like, "Oh, you guys really stepping on us. Let's go." And then the Lee lineage showed up, and he was like, "Oh, you think we ain't about it? Because we're about it right now."
They're like, it was actually really. They were just like. We'll step on y'all.
Yeah. He's like, you think we came here for fun? We're ready for it.
He's like 5 on 5. I mean, one of your guys already beat your guy. Like, we're already chilling. We're back.
Yeah.
Camera died.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. But yeah, we were talking about how the king showed up for the Kin lineage and the Lee lineage. They're ready to get down with it.
The Zhao lineage showed up.
Yep. And he was like, we'll deal with the Kin lineage. Put you guys down. And then the Zhu lineage showed up. And they're like, y'all, everyone can see us. Others and kids. Calm down. Stop it here. And then they all pulled away. And then the Dragon Blood Mountain Ruling Chief, he's a cheeky bastard.
He's fucking funny.
Because he was just like, he just came here for a sparring session. That's all,
It's all fun and games.
Yeah.
You guys are welcome whenever.
Yeah. You're welcome to take a look over here when you want to.
So they left. We go back. We found out Li Jingzhe actually goes to the World's End River End.
World's End River.
World's End River as like the king to protect the area because they always have a king surrounding it. Cause sometimes other kings show up, and he goes to Li Luo at this time. And at this time, Li Luo and Li and Ji Qingye already do their duel fight. They just finished. They're like cultivating. Li Jingzhe shows up and he's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you." So he pulls both of them over. Actually, Li Jingzhe watches that fight, and after the fight, he pulls them over. And the fight was cool. They won. It wasn't anything crazy. But Li Luo did do okay against the first grade. And so, but Li Jingzhe talks to him about a Genesis seed, which we find out the sacred seed, which is like the Heaven Emperor's like super treasure, is actually like a lesser product of a Genesis seed. And a Genesis seed is either natural or acquired. And basically, anybody who's ever like naturally gets a Genesis seed is like the hero that was promised. Is basically how they say it. And like
they said, like the leader of the Secret Void sect. They said
he had a Genesis seed.
Yeah, and
he actually decimated the others. Yeah,
they said he was so strong. And that like their sect was so strong that they actually went to the Shadow World, decimated them. But they still ended up obviously falling, and no one knows why.
Well, yeah, so they must have like gotten close to destroying the others, and then the others must have had like some super crazy person at the end that like just like smited them or something.
No, they probably got betrayed.
Did they got betrayed?
Yeah.
I think
Reverse Origin Institute. I mean, they said they weren't
there yet.
Yeah, but they were formed after, but someone had to start it, so the person who started it probably betrayed him.
Alright, that's fair. That's fair.
And they've said that they've taken down quite a bit of lineages over the time. There's no way they could have done that without having someone with the capability to at least do something like that.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I would go with that, but that's definitely a plausible idea. Yeah. And so basically, it's heavily hinted that Jiang Qingye was a natural Genesis seed, and the reason that Li Luo's parents always talk about that we owe Jiang Qingye a lot is that she was hurt when she was young, for a while. Li Luo remembers this, and he thinks that she basically gave him part of her Genesis seed to Li Luo so that like he can like be talented as well. And so like I think it sounds like she probably split off like a third of her seed to get to Li Luo or something like along those lines.
So I'm thinking this is like a very similar situation to Dragon Prince Yuan.
Yeah.
Where Yao Yao was in an egg.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming she was in an egg too. And I'm assuming, like, you know how they were injured?
Yeah.
And they said that because they said that they owed her, like the whole family.
I thought it was because she helped Li Luo.
No, I think it's because they must have like bloodletted her to heal themselves.
Oh.
And that passed down to Li Luo. So because they said an acquired seed would require them like giving up their power, right?
Okay.
How else are they gonna do that? Like she can't consciously do that, right?
Yeah.
Like as a child. So they probably did that when she was like in incubation form. And then they brought her back.
That's fair, and then he gets it. But then
that's why the dragon ate the. So to test him, they have their sacred seed, and they made a blood crystal out of Lilo's blood, and they said if it reacts very happily, it means you're Genesis seed.
Yeah.
But it didn't. It like reacted like this is good stuff, and it eats it. And the Jinxie was like, it usually will never devour anything.
Yeah, except the Genesis seed or something similar. To
it. So that's why I think they did something like bloodletting, where like they took some of her essence and they used it to heal themselves, and that got passed down to Lilo because she was pregnant when they got hurt.
That's true, but Lilo remembers when she was injured. Do you think she was injured for that long?
Who?
Lilo remembers Jian Qingye being injured when she was young.
She wasn't hurt.
Yeah, he literally said it. He was like, when she was young, he remembers that she was injured for a while, and that like then she got better after. And he thinks that's why I said that I think she like gave her.
When they say that,
he said it when they were talking about the Genesis seed. I'll go through it, but I'm worried that the thing is gonna die on us. I can go try to find it really quick though.
Okay. I don't even remember them saying that. I thought they just, because they said like her birth was shrouded in mystery, and they don't know, like they never know where she came from, and then they said we owe her a lot. I don't remember the part where they said she was hurt. But yeah, so he clearly has. They did something. Some kind of they transferred some of her essence at least, like whatever the acquiring method is. So he must be like an acquired Genesis seed, but it's like a really crappy version.
Yeah, super crappy.
But I think that's in combination with his blank resonances. Yeah. Unless that's like
that's the reason.
That's the mutation. But yeah, so that is crazy. So we know Jian Qingye is probably is the Genesis seed.
Yeah, I can't find it.
And now.
Oh, and also the wolf got a little upgrade.
It's six tails.
Oh.
And then after that, Lilo goes into seclusion. Oh, they also tell us Heavenly Emperor's Supreme 9th grade. The resonances. You can have Supreme 9th grade.
Yeah, the Supreme 9th grade. And the reason they can't reach. And right after Heavenly Emperor is Absolute Resonance Emperor. Is that what they call it?
Well, that's not a stage.
But that's like the title you get if you get a 10th stage resonance.
That's what they would call him, like an Absolute Resonant Emperor. And I was like, name drop! I didn't even realize it until I saw that. And I never thought about Absolute Resonance, like that name like that, until they said it. I was like, so that's how
that's how the title came to be. So now we finally know the end of the road. Heavenly Emperor, probably just like one more breakthrough after Heavenly Emperor.
Get a 10th grade and you're chilling. And Lilo, theoretically, can be a 10th grade. So maybe Jian Qingye does it because he's a Genesis seed, and Lilo does it because he's in a...
Because he has blank resonances.
Blank resonances.
Yeah. Well, those were like the big points. Again, it could have been condensed to 45, 50 chapters instead of the 90 we read, but still good stuff. Good stuff. They just gotta cut the filler.
Yeah.
And he hasn't, but things are what they are. What are we reading next week?
Oh,
bro, we have Beyond Timescape. We have like 120 chapters.
We do not decide. So we have Beyond the Timescape.
We have Split in the Heavens we could talk about.
We have Split in the Heavens. That's gone crazy. Has Dan Reincarnation? No, we just first.
No, Dan Reincarnation only has like 30 chapters.
I feel like we didn't mention something.
9 Star.
We just
did 9 Star. Yeah, I think we're ready. You see, the Split in the Heavens and Beyond the Timescape. What do you want to do?
Let's do Beyond the Timescape.
Fire. Beyond the Timescape, we're back. We'll do 710 till what, 750?
Yeah.
Alright, 710 to 750, we'll do 40 chapters. Yeah, I can't wait for that. It'll be such a welcome relief after this. These 40 chapters, I promise, they're gonna feel like 75.
Yes, for sure.
Well, alright, this has been episode 74 of the No Feast Podcast by Adam Moore.
I'm Gamer.
Peace.